Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my Everyman Hybrid Rambling series. Today we are in part 6. I did not think it would go on this long, but whatever. I have a feeling we will be able to finish it out this time. Either this time or next time. I don't know. I'm thinking this time, though. I may stretch this one out to be a long one, so then it can be finished, right? Yeah, fucking hell. Alright, little recap. Last time we watched, Vinny working with Habit now. Habit be killing people. Vinny don't respect it. Vinny wants to leave. Habit knocks him out, has him dragged away, taunts him, and that's how that video ended. The last time we watched was the video breaking the lease. So, yeah. Alright, now let's just jump into it. Bum 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 ba da da da. I was trying to do that EverymanHYBRID intro song and I couldn't think of it. So yeah, let's just actually jump into it. Now, in the next video being titled Blue Room, Vinny wakes up in Jeff's old room. He finds a note from Habit telling him to throw out any trash that he has, and there's a countdown timer that is counting down from, I think, like 24 hours, and at the first time you see it in the video, the timer is at 22 hours. So Habit's got something planned for Vincent. Throughout the video, this is yet another moment where I'm going to say, go and watch EverymanHYBRID. Channel link in the description. Now, in the Blue Room video, Vinny kind of reflects on what his life has become and how at this point everything just seems like everything goes back to square one at a point every time. He never feels like he's ever truly making progress, and now he just feels fucking dead inside because he's gonna die in like 22 hours to primordial powers unbeknownst to him, you know what I mean? But soon, that note about throwing your trash away becomes very clear to Vincent. It becomes very clear to little Vinny. So, Vinny goes to, look around the room and he finds something in the trash can. He finds a... he finds a clip. He finds, a clip to a pistol. And he finds a little note with Habit's little smiley face symbol on it. And on the other side it says, find my friend and we can help you. Vinny finds a few different items in the room, like a hard drive, and a little blue box with a button on top. A little blue, like, metal box with a button on top. It's, freaky as hell. Vinny pans over to the little timer, and, he has 19 hours and 19 minutes and something odd seconds left in the room. Or until something happens, who knows? Who fucking knows? Vinny then searches around a little bit more, and he finds the gun that clip goes to. Big time jump happens to now. There's 4 hours left on the timer. And Vinny has a little message for us, and he says, if anyone else sees this, just keep surviving, Vinny apologizes to all the people that have gotten hurt around him. And he says that he doesn't know what's going to happen in 4 hours, but he hopes it kills him. My man Vincent's going through it, brother. Now we time skip to 2 hours left on the timer. And Vinny says that he keeps hearing noises. Says it must be his mind playing tricks on him because it sounds like it's Jeff. Vinny's going through it, man. He's been in this room for almost 24 hours at this point. Now we skip all the way to now the timer says 1 minute, 16 seconds on it. 1 minute until whatever happens, happens. Vinny decides that he should say a goodbye, just in case whatever happens is bad. When this timer goes down, he thanks the fans, the ones who helped, and the ones like us who have watched along the way. He says that's the only thing that's kept him going, and I think that's a really nice sentence to say in the series. Because you think about Vinny throughout this series, he's trying to record, like, everything. Like, fucking everything. When Jessie died, Vinny was trying to record her fucking body, and Evan told him, you can't just fucking record that. When Jeff didn't want to be on camera, Vinny was still convinced him to allow him to record, and even then, he convinced Jeff to take a camera along with him onto Evan's house. We know how that ended up, but, you know, Vinny seems to always want to have things on footage. He always wants to have footage of everything. He's constantly recording everything. So that sentence, when I hear Vinny say it, just makes sense. Just makes a lot of sense. He says without the fans, he'd be dead by now. And at this point, the timer has gone down to 17 seconds. Way less than a minute, way less than 30 seconds before whatever happens with this timer happens. And Vinny finishes it off by saying, thanks. This may be the last time I get to say it, right? And now at this point, 8 seconds on the timer. We are home stretch to whatever this Blue Room video has in store for us. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. When the timer goes down, when the timer reaches about 3 seconds, it sounds like the door opens. The camera cuts to black, but we can still hear Vinny. And he says, oh shit, here we go again. I'm pretty sure he genuinely says that. Let me go back to verify. He says, "Oh shit, here we go." But he almost quotes CJ from GTA San Andreas. So you know, he was there. He was there. He was on the right track. Sorry, I had to cough. All right. So that is the end of the Blue Room video. Now we end up on a video just titled Christmas. The description of the video reads, I'm still sorting through all the footage, but wanted to let you know I am alright and with Evan for the time being. Good news is I think I have control of the channel again. I'll share what I have soon. Vinny. And that message is from Vinny, obviously. It wouldn't be from fucking Jeff. That's all I'm saying. Got him. So the video starts. Vinny has a computer now. Evan's there. Sitting on a couch with him. No sign of habit for the time being. And they just start talking. So the conversation starts out. Evan's asking Vinny, are you okay? And Vinny says, I'm not good. Right? I don't feel good. And it's not because of what's happened. It's not because he's scared. It's because he feels nothing. And he doesn't know what to do anymore. Right? Vinny seems to have no goal anymore. No anything. Vinny asks Evan if he's okay. Evan says he's not doing good. And he talks about how the things that Habit does with his body, he doesn't know who the true monster is. He doesn't know where Habit begins and Evan ends. He doesn't know where Evan begins and Habit ends, you know what I mean? He doesn't know if he's the monster or Habit's the monster or, you know. He doesn't know how to feel. Habit, the things that Habit does are with Evan's hands, right? They're with Evan's body. So it's hard to know if Evan's a bad person or Habit's the one controlling him and he's the bad person and, you know. It's a heartbreaking little speech. I feel bad for Evan. I think anyone would, right? Because Evan doesn't seem like a bad guy. He actually seems like one of the better guys out of the Everyman Hybrid crew. He seems like the best guy, right? The most, in my opinion, morally correct. But how can he be morally correct when there's something controlling him and making him do horrible things? You know. Evan has a little quote in this video that I really love, and it's you know, is it the monster controlling me, or is it all just some big coagulation of violence? It's hard to tell, Evan. It's hard to tell. Only you could possibly know. You know what's going on inside that mind, you know? Nobody else. Vinny says, at least you know that there's someone controlling you, because I'm in this by myself, and I've gotten people hurt. Vinny continues his point by saying, you know, I've gotten people killed, and I've been in control this whole time. And he tells Evan that he doesn't think he's a monster. He tells Evan that he thinks he's a monster. Vinny thinks that he's a monster. He's been in control this whole time, and he's gotten people killed. I think it's understandable to feel that sentiment about yourself after working with a creature like Habit, you know? They end off that conversation and decide to play video games together like they used to. So it's a wholesome little moment between two friends, you know? But then it cuts to footage from a different camera. This footage from a different camera is of Vinny telling us that we need to stop watching. Stop watching. The audio is very muffled, so I couldn't really understand a lot of it, I'm not going to lie. But what I picked up, it was a lot of Vinny just telling us to stop watching. Then after that, a QR code scrolls down the screen for a second. This QR code leads to a picture of a screenshot from Can You See the Words? And then a tweet comes out that has an audio file that if you put over what Vinny's saying, he has a little coded message, and he's still telling us to stop watching. There's shit going down with this. There's shit going down with this, definitely. For a while, nothing goes down, and then eventually Habit puts up a little message on the Can You See the Words blog, which then gets people over to a phone number, which is Vinny's phone number, and then that was kind of the breakthrough that Habit was asking for, and we get to the next video, apartment 3103. Alright, so now we get the events of right after the blue room video, right? Vinny runs to an apartment complex nearby. He sees some dudes that spook him, so he runs into an apartment, and he wishes that the fellas would go bye-bye. He's looking through a peephole, and he sees what looks like someone in a window across the way. So he, you know, ducks and dips out. And in this apartment, we notice that it is the apartment from the last video titled Christmas. And Vinny proclaims that maybe he did die, and this is his little slice of heaven. Now there's 3 of these apartment videos. It's apartment 3103, and then right after it there's part 2 and part 3, right? A lot of these videos are just a bunch of scattered footage. That all kind of correlate together and kind of set up a little bit of a timeline, but they don't exactly make too much sense. But they do kind of at the same time. right? It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff to take on. um, a lot of these videos is just like Vinny sitting in front of a computer being like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Um, but yeah, we'll kind of recap them now. We see some footage of when Evan showed up, and that sets up a timeline of when the Christmas video took place. And then the next scene, we see that Vinny's saying that Evan was here for a few weeks and then he left. Right? Evan's gone now. So, any of the footage that's taking place will take place after the Christmas video. In this video, we can see that Vinny starts to go a little cuckoo bananas, right? Vinny starts giving dates at this point of when he's recording these little bits. So we cut June 6th, June 7th, and then, January 6th, January 7th, and then it cuts all the way to May something, and then June 1st. Interesting thing to note, in the May footage, the little bit of the May footage that we get to see, Vinny has a nose ring. Interesting. He also proclaims that he thinks he's gonna die here. Then it cuts to footage of Vinny recording a big, tall, slendy guy in the field outside of the apartment complex. Oh no. Oh no. Vinny then starts to describe what happens. So after that night at Jeff's room, he woke up in a snowy field near an apartment complex and he had some keys in his hand. Says that he got up to the apartment complex and the key turned out to be the one to this apartment that he is now trapped in. And he was chased inside here by 3 dudes in hoods. 3 hooded men chased little Vincent into this apartment 3103. He says that a few minutes later, Evan showed up at the back door, and then he crashes here for a few weeks, and then he leaves. So we're getting a timeline here. We have a timeline of events now. He says that he can't open the door. No one can hear him outside. He can't make phone calls. He can't open up windows. He's trapped. He's trapped in this apartment. And now we pick up in the next video, part 2. Vinny's got a fucking nose ring now, but he's actually commenting on it. And he's like, I don't know how the fuck I got this. He's still in the apartment, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, still in the apartment. Vinny mentions that someone keeps stocking the apartment with food for him. So, that's nice. Habit's going shopping for him. Habit's got his little groceries list. He's going shopping for Vincent. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, it cuts to footage of Jeff. It cuts to footage of Jeff on the ground, like, when he overdosed. But this time it's a little weird. A little weird because it's Jeff's hoodie. It's the same pills and stuff that he had when he overdosed, but it's like an overhead view of his corpse. But it's a little weird because Jeff wasn't wearing a hoodie when he overdosed earlier on in the series. So there's shit going on here. Then right after that, Vinny finds footage of Alex. Like Jeff's brother Alex, who died way earlier on in the series. He's recording this footage of Alex because he somehow, he can't upload it, I guess. But it's just Alex talking about how he's going to go on a camping trip with the boys. Seems to be a video that was for Alex's channel but never got uploaded. So there's some shit going on here. And then after that, we get a really great shot of Vinny recording the Slendy guy outside of a window in the apartment. But it starts out and we get this like outer view where it's like someone is recording Vinny recording the Slendy guy. And then we get a video from Vinny's camera of this moment. And the Slendy guy is right there outside the window, just right there. He's right there. He's staring right in at him. I don't know what that means, but Slendy guy's nearby. He's always nearby, obviously, so he's always watching and shit. Maybe he can't get into the apartment because Habit has him blocked off or some shit. You know, maybe this is another one of those Habit versus that stick in the mud kind of moments. Vinny says that he's been recording this big slendy guy for about 5 minutes now, and while Vinny's saying all of this, the camera is like corrupting and fucking up and like doing all kinds of weird shit, doing like mirror image shit on it. It's really great, really great. I recommend y'all go to the channel, link in the description, and watch these Apartment 301. This little 3-part series on Apartment 3103 because it's very good. It's very good. These are another one of some of the best videos on the channel. Really great shit. And then we cut back to Vinny watching some of videos from Alex that were never uploaded. Alex talks about how some of the videos on his channel don't seem to be uploaded, and it's weird. But that's something that we've heard before. Habit seems to be, you know, he's the director of this little series, if we want to say that, right? He's restricting the upload of videos on the Everyman Hybrid channel. He seems to be restricting the upload of videos on Alex's channel also. Interesting. And then Vinny says that after watching that footage of Alex, he says, sounds familiar, right? Having the same kind of problem of not being able to upload videos on the channel. And then Vinny says that he can't help but blame, you know, himself for all this kind of shit, right? Which is fair. And now we move on to part 3 of this little apartment saga. The final part of this little apartment saga. So in part 3, we start to see that whoever was taking care of the apartment before has now stopped. The food's not getting restocked anymore, and furniture is now starting to disappear in the apartment. Sorry, Vinny. He says that the plumbing's been turned off. You know, Vinny's sitting in the bathroom. It smells like shit. The plumbing's been turned off. And you can see a very obvious cup of piss. So Vinny's got no water anymore either. So he's having to survive off of piss and whatever food scraps he can find around the apartment. My man Vincent's going through it, you know? My man Vincent is going through it. Vinny says that he could hear people talking out in the apartment, but you know, Vinny's going through it, man. Vinny says that there's some good news. The air came back on. Bad news, though. It's fucking freezing now. So the air's on, like, full blast. At this point, I just feel like Habit's fucking with Vinny, you know? And, yeah, there's no food in the apartment anymore. And Vinny says a great line. He says, you know, someone was bringing me food for a while. Now they're not. Guess they've forgotten about me. I guess God's turned his back on me. Vinny's suffering, boys. Vinny is suffering, lads. Then we get interspliced footage of Vinny checking books. So it seems like Habit's little message to Vinny has gone through to him. And then right after that, he says he hasn't had a sip of real water in a while. So now we know what's in that cup, right? Yeah. And he also says that more furniture's missing. He doesn't have a bed anymore. I guess he's sleeping on the floor now, you know? Sorry, Vin. Vinny wishes that he could just die, but then it cuts to some different footage. And if you reverse the footage and zoom in on it and try and make it somewhat clearer, the message says, Rabbits 82 and 41, can you sacrifice yourself to the words? Seems like Habit still has things planned for those rabbits, you know? 7 trials has not ended truly, right? Habit still has jobs for those little rabbits out there. And then it cuts to a bit of footage, and Vinny says that he found what Habit was telling him to look for, and that it doesn't matter. He's not bringing anyone else into this. So it seems like Vinny's found something that has troubled him, that he doesn't feel too great about, you know? Now, when I watched through all of Everyman Hybrid for the very first time, that was the last video on the channel. But there's still more ahead, boys. We still got stuff to go through. So, let's just keep jumping into it. Alright, I had to take a long break. It is now dark in my room. But we have things to discuss. The next video of Everyman Hybrid, that is. So it was about a year before this video got uploaded, but now we have moved on to the video is titled 2,395. All in words, not in numbers. But in the description, it's the exact same thing, but in number form. Now what happens in this video is... Alright, let's get into the reason why the video is titled this way. So, at the time when this video came out, the first Everyman Hybrid video was uploaded 2,395 days before this current upload. So that is why this video is titled that way. But yeah. Alright, now let's just jump into it. Alright, now what this video is audio of Vinny and Habit having a conversation while footage of Vinny running through the woods plays over it. Now, there's a lot in this video. Some of the important points is that Vinny's been finally let out of the apartment. He's not trapped there anymore. Habit completely forgot that Vinny was in that apartment. And that, Vinny finds some, items in the woods. And, that, Habit brings up this concept of the North Star. Maybe kind of as an item to beat the Slendy guy, right? Who knows? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this video. You also get to see, the footage that plays over the audio is, you see Vinny getting chased through the woods by someone at some points, and yeah, there's a lot to this video. I'm not really gonna go over it too in depth here, but it is a really good video, and I recommend anyone who is watching this to go to the Everyman Hybrid channel in the description and watch it for yourself. The video is called 2,395. It's a good ass watch. So, a lot of what happened in this video, the audio that you hear, and a lot of the footage that you see is Habit tracking Vinny through the woods. And he realizes that Vinny's smart, he checks his footing, he checks his pacing. He could have killed him, but he even took the opportunity to turn away and, find another alternative. Habit likes this, right? Habit could have killed Vinny in this moment, but he didn't. Habit likes this because he sees that Vinny is ready for war, right? A war against a certain stick in the mud, right? A certain tall man. Yeah. Right? Then also in this video, we get footage of what happened after the Blue Room video. Or, well, it's kind of hard to tell if that's what it is, but I'm guessing that's what it is. So what happens after the Blue Room video is Vinny gets transported into his basement, right? And then the lights start flickering and stuff. And then there's a bunch of little Slendy dolls around. And Vinny says that Habit didn't do this. And he touches one of the Slendy dolls, and Vinny sees like a flash of Jeff. So that freaks Vinny out, understandably. So he tries to run away. Right? He tries to run out of the house. But he can't leave the house because the door is shut. Right? The door is not letting him out. And then you get spliced footage of the big bad Slendy guy over footage of Vinny trying to open the door, right? So this definitely isn't Habit's doing. It's that old stick in the mud, right? It's his doing. And then footage plays of Vinny running through his house and stuff like that, right? And then it cuts back to the conversation with Habit. And more footage of Habit tracking Vinny through the woods. And more footage of Vinny's perspective where he's running around the woods, being hunted by Habit. And during this part of the conversation between Vinny and Habit, Habit proclaims that they're going to take the war to the tall man, right? They're gonna go to it, right? They're gonna fight it. And Vinny says, "Nah, you can't do that, man. It's a god." And Habit pretty much tells Vinny that there's no such thing as a god, and humans put that word up to such interpretation, right? There is no such thing as a god. Everything has a weakness. Everything can be killed, or at least weakened, or destroyed in some way, right? So you can't kill a god, right? You can't kill something like that. Sorry, it feels like there's something on my hand. Give me 1 second. Yes, you also did just get revealed that I am not wearing a shirt right now. I am just laying in bed without a shirt explaining this. Well, I'm wearing a shirt, but it's open, right? So my big fucking man titties are out. But yeah. Ugh. And Habit says that any faceless thing could take on the form of a god. But then he also says, the dog, the Habit, and the faceless one, they all run in these circles, right? And they come to impasses just like humans do. We also get a bunch of random footage over this audio, where Vinny is explaining that he has been locked in the apartment for 2 years, one of which without any plumbing. But there's a lot of interesting little footage that's playing over this. One bit of footage is what looks like Vinny dead, laying face down, potentially dead, with blood near him in the snow. And then the other is someone filming what looks like a mirror in some random house, right? And with the footage, the audio at the moment is just Habit telling Vinny that he needs a little guidance, a little direction, right? And that also, they can't kill the Slendy guy just yet, but soon, right? And the footage that plays over this audio is what looks like what the start of this conversation was coming to, right? Where it's Habit pointing a gun at the back of Vinny's head, and Vinny getting on his knees and putting his hands behind his back, right? This is I'm guessing how this audio started. Now Habit starts asking him, what did your people look to before GPS and shit for guidance? And Vinny says maps and shit, right? Habit says before maps, right? Vinny says the stars, right? And Habit gets a little excited from that. He's like, yes, the stars, And then and then Habit asks Vinny, "What's the most important star?" Vinny says the North Star, right? And Habit says, yes, the North Star. That little fucking twinkler is our fucking key. And then Vinny asks, like, well, how's that? And Habit just says, well, I'll tell you later. He's continuing to fuck with him. And now Vinny's being like, alright, I'm on board. Fuck it. Right? He just kind of agrees. He says, alright, just in time, Ian, let's get out of here. And Habit says, not yet. I didn't tie you down to tell you this. I tied you down because you've been a bad little boy. Vinny's like, fuck you talking about, man? Habit tells Vinny that he tied him down because he didn't show us, right? He didn't show us something. Vinny very clearly doesn't want this footage to be seen. But Habit has him tied down in front of a big screen, in front of a projector, most likely in Vinny's basement or some shit, right? And Habit's about to show us some footage that Vinny doesn't want us to see, but Habit needs us to see. It is confirmed that the footage that we are about to see starts off and Vinny walking out into his basement, and it is confirmed that this is the Blue Room footage. This is what happened after the end of the Blue Room, right? And this is some important footage right here, because we need to know what happened in between the events of end of Blue Room and going into start of the apartment, right? Alright, now Vinny walks out into the basement and he finds a table with the gun that he had found in the Blue Room footage, right? He thought he had this gun on him. He did not anymore. It was on this table. On top of a note that says, no matter how much you scream and shout, there will only be one way out. Vinny's got to kill himself to get out of this basement. Is that what we're implying here, right? Seems to be. Now, Vinny says, no way, right? He takes the gun. He's trying to find a way out of the basement now. But we know he's locked down there until he does this. As viewers, we've seen Vinny locked in many a places already. There's no way out until he does this task. Shoots himself. And, Vinny's still trying to find a way out of the basement, kind of starts to be like, well, you're right about one thing. Does kind of seem like the only way out, right? What else does he have? What else does he have anymore, right? Kind of does seem like the only way out. But I don't think Vinny's thinking of the only way out of the basement. I think Vinny's thinking the only way out of this lifetime of pain and suffering that he's gone through, right? Vinny wants to kill himself, not to get out of this basement, but to get out of this life, which is so much sadder than having to kill yourself just to get out of a basement, right? And Vinny says, even if he does find answers, even if he does figure out what's going to happen next, or how to stop it, this is no life. He has no friends, he has nothing, right? So he decides that if there's a heaven, if there's a hell, it's better than this. And he shoots himself. But as we know, that footage takes place right after the Blue Room footage. We know that Vinny comes back to live through the apartment saga, to live through the events of this video right here. Yeah. One iteration of Vinny gone. Next iteration of Vinny dropped at that apartment, right? And that is the end of that video. Now, we have one more video to discuss in part 6. I am going to, after this video, stop it here, and we will pick up with the ending of Everyman Hybrid in part 7. That will be the last one. I will make sure of that just because there's literally really nothing else to go on after this video. Or after after this video, there's only like 6 to 7 more videos left. And yeah, they're all pretty long ones, but that will make up the whole run of part 7. Alright, now the next video, titled Tradition. No description. And let's get into it. It's a classic traditional video where Vinny uploads a video on Christmas Day to talk with the hybrids. Us. Us, the fans, the hybrids, the boys, the homies. Vinny starts the video out by saying that Habit told him to make this video. It's tradition, right? And then it intersplices little scenes of every single Christmas, Everyman Hybrid Christmas video before this, right? And then he gets into the topic at hand, which is the footage that we just saw. Vinny explains that he can't explain it, but he can almost remember it. He can remember putting the gun to his head. And Vinny says that the next thing he can remember is waking up and being trapped forever, which is, same shit, different day. Vinny mentions that Habit keeps stopping by and telling him to be ready. And he also says that Habit keeps running around and saying, "New year, new me." So, that's probably some kind of dig at Vinny about iterations and shit. Vinny says that Habit keeps giving and taking away access to the internet, but from what Vinny's seen, things are happening out there too. Some of the rabbits are getting things in the mail. Vinny says that he advises against anyone helping, but if they are gonna help, be safe. And Vinny ends the video off by saying that those hidden videos that they thought were a hoax all those years, he can see them now, if it even means anything. After that, he leaves us off with a little message. Merry Christmas, hybrids. And that is the end of tradition. And that is also the end of this part of the Everyman Hybrid Rambling series. We've gone on long enough, hybrids. In the next video, we will pick up with the last 7 videos on the channel, and also some of those things. We will also pick up next time with some of those things that people were getting sent in the mail. Some big stuff. We're not going to go too in-depth on them, I'm going to be real, because one of those things that was sent in the mail is 2 hours long. Another one of those things that was sent in the mail is 3 hours long. So, yeah. Some long-ass shit. But I will give a brief overview of what those things entail. And I will, in the next video, I'll tell you kind of what's up with them. And then we will go from there. That being said, though, this is the end of Everyman Hybrid Rambling Part 6. We will pick back up with the ending of Everyman Hybrid in Part 7. Thank you for watching. Brofist. Meh.